Welcome back, warriors. Today we're talking about the 5 priorities of survival. I got all this gear laid out, all this these pieces of kit, and each one serves a purpose. And this is really set up for a two-part series I have coming up on the 10 C's of survival. So let's get after it. What's up, warriors? This is Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media and that's how you found your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button, and YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, so you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. I have all this gear set out today because I'm filming a 2-part series on the 10 C's of survival, according to Dave Canterbury and the Pathfinder School, and it's just really awesome stuff. It's very well thought out, well planned, super concise, and really helped me. I always knew the 10 C's. I always thought I followed the 10 C's very well, and used it as part of my system to plan what I was going to keep in my go bag, or my kit, or my camping bag, or my hiking bag. After going out and training with Dave Canterbury and his staff, I learned that there was such a better way to really peel back on how much stuff I was carrying. And the 10 C's are really more about redundancy, being able to have something that serves more than one purpose. So instead of having to carry a bunch of stuff, you carry a bunch of knowledge, because the knowledge doesn't weigh anything. And you learn how to use the stuff that you have to let it multitask, so you can get by with way less and survive for way longer. So be on the lookout for our 2-part series on the 10 C's of survival. Today we're talking about the 5 priorities of survival. So first, before going into what each piece of gear is and what each thing does, or the multitude of things that each piece of kit should do, we got to kind of figure out our why. Why do we need it? Why are we carrying it? Why do we have it with us in the first place? So that if you're creating a go bag, or a survival bag, or a get home bag, which we'll have another video coming up for all the difference between all of those things, whether it's going to be something you throw in your car, your trunk, or whatever, or something like you're going out on your boat, or out for a hike, or horseback riding, or hiking with your family and kids, and there are just certain things that you should have with you. That way, if one of those adventures should turn into a bad experience, you're kind of already prepared with even half this stuff, like a small kit of just items that would help you achieve the following points. There's a concept that Dave Canterbury calls inconvenient camping. How do you take there's camping, you got your tent and your sleeping bags and all that stuff, and it's like comfortable in the outdoors. He said if you had to find yourself in an emergency situation, how would you have enough knowledge and a handful of items that you could turn it into inconvenient camping, so that it's not so much of an emergency thing in panic mode and oh my God, I'm gonna die, as well, all right, I have a handful of things. I'll be uncomfortable, but I'm gonna survive. I'll be okay, and I have all my necessities. So here we go. All right, so your first priority is gonna be self-aid or first aid. Now, I have another video on how to assemble a first aid kit. I did a review on this IFAK, or individual first aid kit, and each one of these is a first aid kit. So this is my boo-boo kit that's with me all the time. Again, just watch that video and it'll kind of tell you what's in there. And something as simple as a Band-Aid, or at the very least a tourniquet, or some sort of trauma kit, or something that's a little bit bigger for a go bag, or your vacation, going away with the family, having a first aid kit. And again, I have other videos on that. The priority being that if you got injured, how do you put yourself back together? And the amazing thing about Dave Canterbury and his 10 C's are hey dude, you could bring a tourniquet for the big boo-boos, but even if you didn't have that, how do you rely on the 10 C's? How do you take duct tape and some cotton and make a Band-Aid? How do you take a t-shirt or a shamag or some cordage and create a tourniquet? So the idea of if you can't at least have the materials to save yourself and the knowledge on how to save yourself, then the rest of your survival really doesn't matter. The idea is, first things first, is that, and you should have some sort of knowledge in first aid, self-aid, if not just for yourself, but for whoever, your wife, your kids, your family, your partner at work, or whoever's relying on you to help keep them safe and keep them alive. So your second priority of survival is cover, or shelter. So your first level of shelter or cover is going to be the clothes that you're wearing, and packing a raincoat or a rain poncho, or some sort of jacket that would protect you from the wind and the rain, to keep you dry and keep you warm and really control that core body temperature. So beyond that, obviously if you have a tent or a tarp or some sort of emergency blanket or any sort of thing that you could use to create a shelter, or the knowledge on how you could take natural materials off the landscape to create a shelter to get you out of the elements. So again, it's really about making sure that the clothes you have on are good for the climate and temperature and the predicted forecast for wherever you are or wherever you're going to be. And like kind of like, hey, check your weather app and knowing like, all right, it's going to be raining in the next couple days. I'll bring some rain gear with me. Or the temperature's going to drop real low today. Well, I'll have an extra set of base layer in my pack, in my bag, in my car, wherever. Again, the clothes that you wear, just like mom says, hey, it's going to rain, bring a raincoat, right? I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So the idea is your first level is always going to be the clothes that you're wearing and the stuff that you're bringing with you, even as simple as an umbrella in your car, in your truck, in wherever. Of course, learning how to take certain items like a tarp and how to fashion it to be a shelter. Learning how to take some cord and a tarp, or a cord and your raincoat, or a cord and your poncho, and figure out a way to make shelter with that. Again, it's not the amount of stuff, but the amount of knowledge that you have. The next thing you need is a fire, and you really need fire for a multitude of reasons. Fire gives you light, it gives you heat, it gives you a way to warm yourself, a way to disinfect water, a way to cook food, a way to, like, if nothing else, it's a morale booster. Like, all right, I could sit and watch a fire for hours and be mesmerized. And again, just keeping you warm, giving you light. It's a sense of, and I guess our primal caveman self of like, all right, we're safe, we're good. Learning how to like take a shelter and how far away to have the fire going, and how to have the fire kind of like heat your shelter and keep you warm. Man, you can't get by without it. Your fourth survival priority is water. So you have yourself safe, you have good shelter, you have your fire for your heat, your light, and to disinfect stuff and whatnot, and cook stuff. The next thing is, how do we get water and purify it, or disinfect it rather? Being able to find water, disinfect water, and like keep yourself going. You could go way longer without food than you can without water. Especially if you find yourself like it's really hot and humid today, I'm sweating like crazy, like you gotta stay hydrated. Being able to stay hydrated and electrolytes and all that other good stuff, being able to find the water and have a means to make it drinkable is a really important skill, and if for no other reason, to keep you keeping on. And the fifth survival priority, remember, all this is about survival. It's not about like, hey, wandering off into the wilderness, the zombies are coming and I gotta go live in the woods eating squirrels and berries and, you know, dandelions off the ground forever. It's like, oh my God, I'm in a scary spot, and how do I just get out of here and find help and make it through the day or two until I'm able to find help, or until help is able to find me. So your fifth priority on this list is being able to like signal for help and to find your way out and about. So a device like a compass, pace beads or ranger beads, and most of my kit for the longest time was all camouflage and dark colors and muted colors and very like earth tones and like secret squirrel blend into the environment. And the more I look at the scenarios that I would need survival gear for, like I probably wouldn't be looking to stay out there forever. I'm going camping, cool, but some of my camping gear should be like blaze orange or something that's really going to contrast against the background. I have another video on this kit which I just put together recently. I have the one that I used ahead of time, I've trained with, I use for training, it's good for me to practice with, but the one that I don't want to use, I only want to use, God forbid I need it, is the bright orange one with the big 3 X's on it. Again, I got a video on that too, check it out. The idea being, one, trying to find where I am so I don't get lost, and trying to make it so that I'm signaling that even if I was to fall asleep and get some rest, or out looking for firewood, or find water, or whatever materials to get a shelter going, if I can have something else going in the meantime that acts as a signaling device to like, hey man, I'm over here, come get me, please, please, please friggin' come get me. The quicker I get home to my wife and kids and family and friends, the better. So it's cool to have all the secret squirrel stuff, but it's just as important, it's probably even more so important, to have stuff that would help you not blend into the environment and the landscape, but to stand out from the environment and the landscape, to help somebody else. Helicopter, driving by, on a boat, again, somebody looking up and down the trail for you, wherever you may find yourself inconveniently camping, help them help you. All right, so quick review, the 5 priorities of survival. 1, self-aid, first aid, buddy aid. Learn how to like put yourself back together and keep yourself alive. 2, shelter, creating a shelter to help keep you out of the elements and keep you safe from the elements, whether it's sun, wind, cold, rain, snow, whatever. Shelter to keep you safe from the elements. 3, fire. Being able to get a fire going, know how to start a fire, build a fire, maintain a fire. That way you could get light, heat, warmth, something to cook with, something to take care of, disinfect your water with. Takes us to the next one. Water. How to find water, how to hold water, how to disinfect water, and transport water. And 5, navigation and signaling. Figuring out how to find out where you are, where you're going, where you've been, and how to let know people where you are, or where you've been, or where your shelter is. So again, trying to signal for help. So again, they come in and rescue you, and you're back to life as you know it. Well, if you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching or preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you gotta have it, make sure you hit the bell notifications and then click on where it says all notifications so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find us on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching.